Yo, what is up everyone? It is your boy Devil Dog with another tutorial video on Photoshop. In today's tutorial, we're going to do a video on, it's been highly requested, on how to remove those annoying pesky backgrounds off an image when you're trying to single out a specific piece of content in an image to use for any kind of other design project. Now, if you guys do like these videos, make sure you do smash the like button and also consider subscribing to the channel. It greatly helps me out in the long run. And also, I also stream on Twitch every Friday, Saturday, Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's usually Minecraft with the community. It's a really good time, guys. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of laughs, a lot of fun, and you guys are more than welcome to join. Now, I already have some sample photos that I want to use and build a design on this video to show you how to remove backgrounds and utilize all these techniques to build a design. Now, let's just assume that you already have the images that you want and that you want to remove backgrounds from. So let's go ahead and open up Photoshop. The most important thing to remember when you're trying to remove a background from an image is the one key words to remember is non-destructive editing. It's very important because you don't want to ruin the original image that you have, or you're going to have to keep hitting Control Z just to go back in the history of your workspace to redo something. The best option for anything when it comes to editing or changing anything in an image, i.e. removing the background, I would always use some sort of layer mask. It's the best way to do it. It's honestly the best way. Do not do any destructive editing like raster sizing the image and then using that eraser tool. That is just never a good idea because, like I said, if you make any mistakes, you're going to have to keep hitting Control Z to go back and redo something you messed up. Whereas if you have a layer mask, it's a lot easier to edit. So we're going to start off by dragging an image onto my workspace that has a complete it does technically have a white background. So let me go ahead and change my background color just to prove it to you guys that it does have a background, just to make you guys aware here. Okay, now as you can tell, this background's blue and this background of this horse is white. So there's a couple of methods you can do to delete this background. That is, luckily enough, it already has a colored background, and the foreground is basically one solid, basically easy to understand color. So there's a few methods that you can do. The one method I would use when it comes to like an image that has a background but it's not really like distinct, it's just one solid color, which is super simple. You can go to channel pool. Now, channel pool is really simple, guys. Like you got your image right here, right? You got your image, you can move it around, blah, blah, blah. And here's those colors. RGB is basically the full color mode of this image. So if you used to click red, either way, it wouldn't matter what color you choose. Besides RGB, it's gonna be black and white, but it's gonna be like a certain, way of black and white. But you want the darkest you can possibly get when it comes to using channel pool to remove backgrounds. The next step to this, if you're using a channel pool, is to drag this blue, which you have the eyedropper on or whatever, the eyeball on, you drag it down to new layer and that copies that little, adjustment. So since you got dark, it's not really dark enough. So what I would do is hit Control L, which brings up your levels, your little levels panel here. And I adjust the panel until this horse is completely black. Basically to about right there, which is pretty good. You hit OK, you got that. So it's completely black. Next thing I'll do is hit Control and then click on that copy that you have down here in the channels area, and it masks, it selects the entire selection. But the problem is when you go back to layers and you hit this little button down here called add layer mask, it deletes your image. That's not what you want. So Control Z to stop that, and then go up to here to select and then hit inverse. It inverses your selection so it masks out the background and not your actual image. So go back to that little add layer mask, and then there it is. Your horse now has no background. And that is just one way of removing a background on an image. That's only I only recommend using channel pull. Like I said, if you have an image and the background is a solid color. Now let's just assume that the background's not a solid color, but we're going to still use the same image just to show you how to do this. But okay, assume that this horse image, and we'll pull it back up again, has an actual crazy background. All right, and you can't use channel pull because it'll change the colors to the entire image, as well as the horse, making it hard to actually select the horse by itself because everything else has kind of got like texture and stuff like that. So if you run into that situation, you can hit this little thing called a quick select tool. And what it does is you just drag it around and it highlights the entire horse. But sometimes you might want to mess with it so you can get some of the selection on the horse. And sometimes you might have like some kind of weird situation where you have to lower the actual size of the brush to make sure the selection is on point. So we're going to do that right here. This is just quick select, and all this does is quickly selects an area, and all you do is obviously go back to select and inverse again to make sure you just get the horse, hit that layer mask, and again it gets rid of the background, but you can't really tell though, right? I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you can't really tell because it's a new document. But either way, that's another method of getting rid of a background. Now that I've gone over how to remove backgrounds from images, I'm going to recreate this image right here, this whole thing right here, by using random pictures and removing the backgrounds and applying it to this final product right here. Okay, so when you're working with like multiple images, and by the way, I downloaded this template from my school. It was a project I had to do for an assignment, so that's why I have all this crap made out. I did not make this part myself, but I can easily do it, but I chose not to go much quicker through this video. So when you're working on multiple images to try to combine into one image, and say if you got something here set up for a book, when you like apply images to this workspace right now and you try to change colors and all that stuff and masking, it's going to mask everything basically, and it's so annoying. So what I like to do is usually hit file, open a new project, default Photoshop, and we'll just start dragging the pictures on that we have for this project. When we did it for the school, we actually did this today. Well, we did it a couple weeks ago, but we just now recently like finished it up and made it look really nice and pretty and stuff like that. So I want to use the channel pool because it's the easiest one for me. So I'm going to drag it back down to new layer. Like I said before, Control L to pull up that properties, make it nice and black like you're supposed to. Like you want it pretty much completely black. Hit OK. And then what you want to do now is hit Control and then hit that little hooyay and inverse to select just the horse. And we'll hit that good old layer mask there. So let's change the background color so we know exactly what we did here to make sure it was right. Well, no, not outer glow. What am I thinking here? Color overlay is what you want. Just pick a nice dark color so we know exactly what we're working with here. And oh shoot, I did something wrong. Okay, I didn't hit OK, my bad. Sorry. Sometimes people make mistakes, okay guys, it happens. So we go back to that dark blue, hit OK, and then you can see this background. You see how there's a halo effect around the horse. That's not really a big deal, but we can probably try to remove it a little bit. So what you want to do is go to this mask area right here and just double click it, and then you can you can kind of feather, you can change how much like outline you got, or you hit select and mask and do more of a detailed method of trying to get rid of this edge. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it's there. Control D to get rid of the marching ants, by the way, because that shit gets annoying. So there you go, we remove the background to the horse. So now we're going to add a man to it. So I'll open a new project. That's how I like to do it. Okay, and then we'll drag the image of the man, which I'm going to use this image here as soon as it pops up. Perfect. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to raster size this layer so we can edit it. I will use the rectangular marquee tool to build a rectangle to cut out basically everything besides this little part right here, this image right here. And this is the only thing I'll use destructive editing for. So I'll just go ahead and hit the Control C, bang it out. Area is empty. They like to do that to me. I don't know why. It's really dirty. But anyway, we got him isolated now. So we're going to use the channel pool again. Like I said, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. We can use any method, but channel pool is good when you have a background with a solid color. We're going to choose that blue one. All right, it's the darkest I can get it. Basics, we'll copy that. Control L to bring up those good old level prop panel. We make it as black as you possibly can. Now you can see there's parts here where there's white. So we'll go ahead and fix that here in a little bit. Just wait for that. And we hit OK. All right. And then we go ahead and do that same thing we did last time. Control and then click on the blue copy that's got the eyeball on it. Go back to select. Go back to inverse. Sorry for that motorcycle passing through. I have bad audio right now due to moving recently, so don't mind me, guys. It'll be fixed soon. Anyway, go back to layers and go ahead and hit that layer mask, and the background should be gone. But the thing is, it's going to look really weird, so let's go ahead and fix it up for preparing it for a Minotaur. Now remember, I told you non-destructive editing, guys. So what you want to use is this paintbrush here while you're on the selected mask, and what it does is, see, oh, I'm painting over it and nothing's happening. It's because it's still on the masking side of, you know, the tool. So what you want to do is hit that X. Now if you see here on the colors, it changed from, it was white to black, now it's black to white. So now I can cover over it with a paintbrush and delete the jeans. But it doesn't really delete it, it just masks it. It just hides it so you can't see it, which is perfect in what we want to do. So let me go ahead and zoom in some more here. Go back to my paintbrush. Eventually you're gonna have to make this paintbrush a lot smaller so you don't have, you know, erase things you don't want to. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it now. Delete the paintbrush, or not the paintbrush, sorry, make it smaller, my bad. I'm really bad at public speaking, guys, in case you didn't know. So I'm working on it by making these YouTube videos. So here we go, we're trying to delete all this crap here, this jeans, because like I said, we're going to make him into a Minotaur and apply it to this project here that I did for school. So yeah, try to do it as best as you can with the paintbrush tool, deleting those jeans so we can apply it to a Minotaur. And it's not really as hard as you think it is. All right, now I finally got the jeans masks out. So the next thing I want to do is make sure that this is going to be, you know, good to go. So we're going to need to change this color to this background to make sure, like we did with the horse, you know what I mean? We make a color background, go to color overlay, and see, notice that we got some stuff we need to fix here. So let's go ahead and fix that stuff out. Okay, so for the most part, everything looks pretty solid. So we'll go ahead and drag this over back to the horse area, and we'll line this little beast up perfectly. So we go to edit, go to transform, we'll go to scale first just to get them at a good size. Always hold shift so you don't lose the proportions to your image when you're resizing it. So we'll go ahead and set that there. It's a little too big still, so we'll minimize it just a little bit more. And it's not too bad. Now we'll go to edit and we'll rotate it now just to make it look a little bit more clean, a little bit more, you know, legitimate, I guess you can say. So I want them to match with this neck. Okay, that actually is a decent spot to put it. That's not too bad. So we'll leave it right there. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is mask out the head of the horse, which is pretty easy. So you go to layers, go back to your horse masking, use the paintbrush again. This time I'd make it huge, make it super huge. Okay, wrong one. Wow, that was weird. Okay, so we're masking out the, okay, X. There we go, that's what I wanted. Okay, so now we're masking out the head of the horse. And we have a Minotaur now. Look at that. Pretty amazing stuff, right? You love to see it. Okay, going back to this little area, we gotta upload the background here to this book cover that I was working on for school. Let me find it real fast. There it is. We drag it on here. So the first thing I want to do is edit it. Wait, first let me raster size. Always raster size your images that you pull off the internet or anywhere before you do anything. So go to edit, and it should be transform and flip horizontally. Okay, I like it. So we go back to edit one more time, hit transform. We'll scale it to fill up this whole background, but always hold shift, like I said, guys. Don't forget, because it will ruin the proportions if you don't. the image just won't look right. So see how it's stretched out like that. All right, so we go back to our little horse image. We'll drag the horse first. We'll just set it right here in the background. Click OK. Don't worry about that. That's not a big deal. We'll put him on the road here. All right, we'll go back to our head, or man head. We'll drag that over as well. Click OK when it asks you about that. And you just, put your head in place. And that's basically how you do it, guys. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. Alrighty guys, that will do it for this tutorial. If you guys did like it, like I said, make sure you guys smash the like button, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting those post notifications so you can always never miss a new tutorial upload, which I do frequently and often. I'm in graphic design school right now. I'm actually going for my bachelor's degree in graphic design at Independence University. So all this knowledge I'm learning, I'm going to pass it on to you guys. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.